is the Bears Postgame Show, sponsored by Jeep.
Not exactly the way to ring in the new century, but it's early. Hello again, everybody. Welcome into the Jeep Postgame Show. Corey McPherrin here along with Tom Waddle. We'll hear from Gary Fencik and Dan Jiggetts in a couple of minutes. Bucs defense just too tough. Bears manage just a couple of field goals and lose their finale for the season 20-6. And I guess, Tommy, the Bucs defense isn't ranked second best in the NFL for no reason. They really made it tough for the Bears to move the ball at all.
Well, you add the fact that the weather was 53, 55 degrees, balmy out there for this time of year, and they had tremendous incentive with a win, which they got. The Bucs win the NFC Central, so very big hurdle for the Bears to clear. They didn't play well.
They just didn't look like they had it today.
Well, I said earlier, there was incentive for the Bears to play. Guys are trying to win jobs. Guys are trying to keep jobs, but at the same time, when there's nothing to play for in terms of the playoffs, it's difficult to go out there and have the same enthusiasm.
All right, so the Bears' final record for the season, 6-10. Let's take a look now at some of the highlights from today's ball game. It's, Tommy says, a spring-like day along the lakefront. Tom's sister wearing the hat he gave her for Christmas. Good to see. Second,
Mom.
Oh, his mom, sorry. Cade rolling out, looks like he's going to take off with it, but throws it. Bad decision, picked off by Donnie Abraham. Runs it in for the touchdown, but it's going to be brought back. Just a bad decision.
Well, he's breaking quarterback rule number 101. You don't roll one way and throw back the other. And it's just, at this point, you either eat it or you throw it out of bounds. And bad decision.
Eventually, late leads to a Martin Gramatica field goal, and late first half, Cade back to pass, loses the football right here. Steve White falls on it deep in Bears territory. Seems like he's not always aware of pressure around him.
That's true. He's also got a rookie at right tackle. Big Cat goes out with an injury, and Jerry Wisley just gets beat.
Sets up a Mike Allstott 1-yard run, takes it outside here, and the Bucs would lead at half by a 10-0 score. Now, to the third quarter we go. Bucs tried a 49-yard field goal. Mike Wells blocks it with his head.
Just did not have a whole lot of lift to it. But, Mike Wells has made plays his entire time here in Chicago, and he's one guy that they're definitely going to build around.
That led eventually to a field goal, makes it a 10-3 game. Midway fourth quarter, Bucs up 13-6 here. Sean King to Dave Moore's 6-yard strike, and Tampa's in front 20-6.
Sean King has not been spectacular, but he is not getting that team beat.
Late fourth quarter, Bears down 20-6, 4th and 6. Cade throws incomplete, and this thing is over. Bucs beat the Bears 20-6 to seal their first Central Division title since 1981. Reaction from the Bears.
We got some stuff to build on. We improved. We had a lot of close games, and hopefully next year we'll win those close games and be in the playoffs. I mean, it's over. We didn't end it like we wanted to, but we can start building on the things we think we need, and there's nothing you can do but go forward now. The season's over, and that's a given. And I don't know what to say about it. We didn't end it like we wanted to.
It wasn't the way we wanted to end it, but we came out. We should have came out a little bit more fired up. We had a lot riding on this game. But overall, the effort was there. I'm proud to be a Bear. We always want to fight hard to the end. We got a long off season. Just go and get ready for next year.
A lot of intrigue surrounding James Allen as we talked about this game this morning in the pregame show. What would he do as for the day? He was 12 for 43 yards, long run of 13 yards. Showed some quickness, showed some elusiveness, but certainly not a dominant performance by any stretch.
Well, no, he wasn't, but there haven't been many guys rush the football against this Bucs club. Bucs give up 89 yards per game on the ground. They're very solid up front. James does give them the element of quickness that maybe Curtis Enis does not, but I don't think that James Allen went out there and made you say, hey, he's got to be your starter next year. But I do expect there to be some open competition at running back for next season.
I would suspect it as well. Right now, let's go out to Gary Fencik at Soldier Field, standing by, along with defensive end Brian Robinson. Gentlemen.
Thanks a lot. Brian, I think the role of quarterback for these two rookies is quite different. You have Sean King, who was not asked to do a lot, just not to make the mistakes and to rely upon a defense that you knew that our Bear offense was going to have some problems against.
Yeah, when you have a pretty good running game like the Bucs have, it'll take a lot of pressure off the quarterback. And he kept his poise back there, and he was making a pretty good reads. And like I said, when you got a running game with Dunn and Allstott, it takes a lot of pressure off that guy, and he can just kind of conserve himself and make the checks that he was able to do today.
A lot of people playing for a position, hopefully for the team next year. You certainly being one of them. You had 10 tackles and a sack today. What's your view? You came from a St. Louis team last year that went from 4-12 and potentially into the Super Bowl this year. What are your thoughts about the Chicago Bears and your role in the defense?
Well, I love Chicago. I hear that, we're looking for a pass rushing defensive end out there, and be that as it may,
you know, I'm going to go out regardless to what's going to happen to me. I'm going to play well, you know, and see where the chips lie. Now, I want to be here next year, but it's, you know, it's up to the guys upstairs. I don't make those decisions. I just go out week to week and try to prepare myself and, you know, hopefully have the production like I had today.
10-0 at halftime. Going into the third quarter, you said you thought the offense would start putting some points on the board. You knew you couldn't give up much, if anything at all, and they started breaking it open with Dunn and Allstott. Let's take a look at one of the plays here. This is a tough little scat back. If you miss him at the line, he's going to make some moves.
Yeah, Warwick Dunn, you know, he's very elusive. You got to square up on that guy. You got to get him down. If you don't get him down, something like that can happen to you.
And Sean King, they started moving the ball, taking a replay here. And as a former defensive back, you don't want to have to face this guy, but the real killer came. They started to move the ball, got a tight end open and more, and the last touchdown pretty much was the nail in the coffin for the Bears.
Right.
You know, do you have any problems? I mean, one thing that I was surprised with Sean King, he has tremendous poise back there in the pocket. Maybe, you know, Trent Dilfer really got benched right after the first Bear game. Maybe you guys did too good a job getting him out of the lineup.
Well, I don't want to talk about my boy Trent. We both went to Fresno State, you know, but it would have been nice to have him back there. You know, Sean King came out and he, you know, I thought he did a hell of a job, and you know, I want those guys to go and represent our division.
Brian, Tom Waddle back in the studio.
Hey,
congratulations on a fine year for you. Talk. Obviously, the record improved 6-10, much better than 4-12. Talk about some of the other improvements, the camaraderie out there, the morale, everything that's been surrounding this team. It seems like everything's pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think we're definitely going to be a team in this division that people are going to look out for. Now, as far as camaraderie and all of that type of stuff, we played well together this year. We are a team that was pretty close, you know, mainly the whole year. You know, you get on some teams and you have this clique over here and this clique, but I thought for the most part this team, you know, we stuck around together. We were in every game, you know, as far as the St. Louis and Washington game, but, you know, just that camaraderie and sticking together I think is going to help us, you know, next year and the years to come.
Well, have a great off-season. Hopefully back in a Bear uniform next year, and the nice thing is at least you made it through the season healthy.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you, Tom.
Thanks. Back to you guys.
All right, Happy New Year to you too, Brian. Bears lose it by a 20-6 count as Tampa Bay wins their 11th game on the year, the most in franchise history. More of the Jeep post-game show after we take time for a break.
Allstott behind him. The Buccaneers with a 3-0 lead. King takes the snap, gives Allstott, trying to go wide. He walks in. Touchdown.
Bears Postgame is brought to you by Jeep. See your local Jeep dealer today.
Years of technological achievements have made us what we are today. Jeep is the most award-winning brand of 4x4s of this millennium. So we're celebrating the next millennium with the Jeep Year-End Awards event, featuring a low $279 a month lease on Cherokee Sport, with features like air and power locks at no extra charge. And be sure to check out the fun-loving Jeep Wrangler. So get to the Jeep Year-End Awards event and see where a little recognition can take you. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Just one more strike.
Yeah! Well, hey guys, I just rolled a perfect game! No!
Sure you did.
No, I just erased it!
Just like your wife's a supermodel.
She is?
Favorite, how you got your wireless phone for free?
I did!
Believe it or not, right now you can get a free ClearPath digital phone from Ameritech Cellular plus 100 minutes for just $25 a month.
Hello?
When are you coming home? Because I really miss you.
Don't be caught in the dark. Get big savings on Sylvania light bulbs from Menards. Choose from a 4-pack of clear bulbs or 2 4-foot fluorescent tubes. Just 99 cents each after $1 rebate. When soap and water can't remove it, clean it with Zenith. It removes adhesive, gum, grease, even permanent marker from carpet, fabric, and all other surfaces. Now free after $3 rebate. Clean up with big savings from Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Bears Postgame on Fox is brought to you by Menards.
And our Menards Big Money play of the day. We had to look long and hard for this one. Cade McNown, a first down run here. He had 29 yards on the day, 5 carries. This one good for 12 yards. Had a tough time picking up the football, but then finally figured out what to do.
Well, he's going to blow a tire here,
right?
But he still gets the first down.
Cade McNown on the day, 20 of 42 for 196 yards, as we say, 29 yards on the ground. And Tommy, one of the things we noticed about him today, no long balls, but of course that's because the protection wasn't there.
Yeah,
mostly.
it wasn't there. And the Bucs, again, you got to give this Bucs defense a lot of credit. They came into to this game second in the league in total defense, second in pass D, and they had a whole lot of incentive, as we talked earlier. They needed to win to clinch the Central. So Cade McNown made some bad decisions, but overall, I don't know that you can do a whole lot of evaluating off of this performance.
Inconsistent at best as far as what Cade had to say about his performance. He talked to the media masses just a few minutes ago.
You know, obviously we didn't convert, many third downs, and, they played us well, but they were just forcing us to complete some balls in some tight circles, and, we weren't doing that early on. We didn't get to a lot of the plays we'd like because we were off the field so quick, and, we loosened up. We played a lot better in the second half, but obviously not, the way we expected with the consistency that we'd like. I mean, at times we'd have drives, boom, we'd just go, and then we'd come right back, and, we'd miss a play we should have gotten. So it was very frustrating out there, but at the same time, they force a lot of teams into those situations. We're putting ourselves in some tough down and distance situations too. So, we need to make more progress on first and second down, so we're not in those third and long situations. I'm going to go out and I'm going to try and do my best. And camp's a long ways away. We got all the mini camps. We've got all the off-season workouts. So I mean, a lot of things are going to sort themselves out there too. And I think competition's great. I hope there's someone here pushing me, and I hope I'm pushing them, and I hope that the best guy plays. And I feel like, that's got to be the situation everywhere. Nobody just walks in and has a poor guy behind them and, goes out there and feels like they can make a lot of mistakes, because that's not the way it's done.
What are you going to try to do to improve on before the start of next year? What are your plans?
Well, I think that every part of my game can be worked on. I don't think there's anything that I'm perfect at. I don't think there's anything that anyone's perfect at. But I'm just going to concentrate on getting better, and just like the rest of these guys, get better, and we're gonna be exciting next year. I mean, I'm really upset about how the things went today. At the same time, I think there's a lot to be encouraged by, and I'm looking guys in the eye in the locker room, and we're already talking about next year because we know we're going to be good. And the key is just not to lose that belief, and I don't think we will.
Think about Cade McNown, even after a difficult game like today was by anybody's standards, he still has this bubbling enthusiasm for what lies ahead. He still has a tremendous degree of confidence
and that's
in
one of
himself.
the things that the Bears were attracted to when they decided to draft him. So he's got tremendous confidence. He's got tremendous poise for a young guy who's been given the reins of probably the most storied franchise in history.
Interesting thing today in the second half, when at times the Bears offense did find a bit of a rhythm, it was Cade to Marcus Robinson, but not the deep ball, short passes inside.
Very unusual. And really, Bobby Ingram didn't get into the flow of the game as early as they would have liked, so it was a difficult game for everyone.
And somebody else we enjoyed playing football today, watching play football today, was James Allen, and he is sitting alongside Gary Fencik right now. Guys?
Thanks, Corey. Well, certainly bubbly, enthusiastic. I think that describes you as well, James. A strong first half, but the game really went into a passing mode in the second half. But, there's been a lot of discussion about, your willingness and your availability to play. How do you feel after the end of the season, and what role would you like to have going into the season next year?
Well, right now, I have to be happy that, I got a chance to play. But, next year, I feel like, I just have to take my time with the whole situation and not really press on nothing. Just keep my mind focused on football and just, go out and get better this summer.
Hey, James, this is Corey in the studio. The last week or so, you've been making some comments about, why in the world haven't I had a chance earlier? And everybody knows that out in the field, I look like the guy maybe that can be depended upon. And then you had a little discussion, I guess, with Dick Duran about that. Do you have any regrets having kind of come public with some of those thoughts?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that, Coach Duran has done his best to keep his team together. And in the situation like that, I felt like I should have went to him first and talked to him one-on-one and trusting that, you know, he would be, you know, he would always let us know when, you know, he feels like there's a change, you know, we need to make. But, you know, as far as, you know, I feel, you know, I told the truth about, you know, some issues, and it just kind of, you know, I guess it took us all by storm, you know, the way it came out in the writing.
James, Tom Waddle back in the studio. Let me build on that a little bit. Is that something that you feel comfortable now that you can make a comment like that or talk about that with this new coaching staff that maybe you couldn't with the old group?
Yeah, because, you know, I feel like, you know, Coach Ryan, you know, he will, you know, he'll always, you know, he wants to find out, you know, what's wrong with his players, you know, and, you know, if we're not happy, you know, he's going to take time to listen, you know, but in any given situation, like I said, you know, I've learned that, you know, I can always go to him now.
You know, James, I think, you know, this is an awkward position for you, but I think people realize any professional player wants to get his time, and I think next year, hopefully, you'll get a lot more than you did in the 1999 season.
Hopefully.
Thanks a lot. Have a good off season. Back to you guys.
All right, Gary. Thanks, James, as well. We're going to take a break. More on the Jeep postgame show in just a second, so stay where you are.
Second down and goal. King to the end zone. Touchdown, Moore.
Well, Jiffy Lube's been in business for a long time, and the philosophy has always been customer and people-oriented.
I expect them to treat the customer with respect and work on the car the way they would want their car to be worked on.
I like all of my technicians to think that the lady that they're serving is my mother.
I like to have my employees treat a customer as they were next-door neighbors.
As the owner of my Jiffy Lube, I expect our customers to be treated as well as I would like to be treated.
Dealer now.
Stand by, I'll be ground, X-ray 1, right
Initiating data download.
At Merrill Lynch, we're still bullish.
Analyzing data.
From Wall Street to the world.
And we take a look at the NFC Central Division standings, the final standings. Tampa Bay at 11-5, first time they've ever made it to the 11-win mark in their franchise history. And, of course, division champs for the first time since 1981. Warren Sapp was playing pee-wee football somewhere at that point, I'm sure.
Was probably still 300 pounds at the time.
Probably was. Corey McPherrin, Tom Waddle, Gary Fencik, and Dan Jiggetts along with you now. Let's hear what Dick Duran had to say about today's game and the big picture, his comments to the media just a few minutes ago.
Well, I wish it wasn't ending today. I wish we were playing in January, and hopefully we can get that done sometime in the very near future. I thought Tampa did an outstanding job. I think they're an outstanding football team, and they deserve to win and deserve to win the division. We said going in order to be the best, we'd have to beat the best, and we know where we stand. You know, the last 2 weeks has shown us where we stand, and we have a ways to go. There were some good things. We got to play an awful lot of young players this year. You know, a couple of them I thought stood out a little bit today. I thought Jerry Azuma played a strong game for a guy that made a switch and did an outstanding job. Warwick Holman, although he made a number of rookie mistakes, which we're going to have when we play young players. I thought Warwick played pretty well since he got into the starting lineup, and should be a good player for us if he continues to grow. And it's true of a lot of our young players. Obviously, Cade's playing quarterback and, you know, made some errors. Clearly in the first half, they had drives of 14 and 22 yards, and you're not going to win a lot of games when that happens. So, but he showed why we believe he is going to be the quarterback for us. He makes plays. Sometimes when there's nothing there, he can hurt you running the ball. He can hurt you throwing the ball. And So hopefully we'll just get better.
Is he going to be the man heading into training camp next year? Will he be the starter?
We'll address all those things, you know, starting next week. We'll start thinking about those things, but at this point I wouldn't make a statement on that.
What do you think, if you could put your finger on this team accomplished this season, what would it be?
Well, I think a lot of the young players. I think we developed a lot of young players, and you know, our offensive line, except for Cat, is a relatively young line, and we've got them mostly intact. I think that's critical. Obviously, our wide receiver core is young. Wide receiver core, our running back core is young. You know, our quarterbacks are relatively young too. So there's a lot of youth on this team, and a lot of those players got a chance to gain some experience this year. It should help us. I believe it should help us. And on the other side, I already talked about Jerry and Warwick and Rosie got to play a lot also. Russell got to play a lot. So we've got a lot of young guys that got experience, and hopefully they'll just get better.
One of the guys Dick Duran did mention there was kicker Jared Holmes. We have a new folk hero in town, huh?
Well, there's a novel concept, trying to get the ball through the uprights. Yeah, I still think they'll address that position in the draft.
2 chances and 2 kicks. Not bad. Haven't seen that in a long time. Back with more on the post-game show after a timeout. Stay where you are.
Patrick Manley to snap at the Bears, trying to get on the scoreboard. The snap is down. The kick is on the way. It's got enough distance, and the kick is good. His first attempt in the NFL, and Jared Holmes gets the Bears on the scoreboard.
The holidays are ending, so relax.
Well, bye-bye belt.
And kick back with King of the Hill and a special full hour of The Simpsons.
He's gotten into the pep closet. I'd say he's coming out of the pep closet.
Followed by The X-Files.
Tonight at 6:30 on Fox Chicago. Oh, my God.
Before Rob Schneider was Deuce Bigelow, he was the world's worst blind date.
What about personality?
Great. Get one.
Ally McBeal.
Monday at 8.
Bears Postgame on Fox is brought to you by Menards.
Make your dollar stretch further during the Super Dollar Sale at Menards. Hundreds of handy items from A to Z are on sale, priced from $1 to $5. Find great values all over the store. You really will save big money during the Super Dollar Sale at Menards. It's a sale too big to pass up. There's never been a better time to stock up on all kinds of great items for your home. There's too much to fit into 30 seconds. So hurry in now during our Super Dollar Sale at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Years of technological achievements have made us what we are today. Jeep is the most award-winning brand of 4x4s of this millennium. So we're celebrating the next millennium with the Jeep Year-End Awards event, featuring a low $359 a month lease on the legendary Grand Cherokee Laredo, with the power and capability to drive you into the turns of the century and beyond. So get to the Jeep Year-End Awards event and see where a little recognition can take you. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
1999 season is over. Bears fall in the finale at Soldier Field, 20-6 to the Bucks. Right now out to Gary Fencik, who's got Blake Brockermeyer standing by. Gentlemen?
Isn't that a great football name? That's a great football name. Your parents were smart. You know, one of the things that the Bears will definitely be looking for next offseason is to get a stud like you did on the offensive line. But I want to talk a little bit about the progress that you saw the offense made, particularly in the last 3 games. Detroit, the Rams, Tampa Bay, all going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously the Detroit game was our best game of those 3. They were a little banged up in the secondary. We took advantage of that and played a real good physical game against those guys. And then, obviously, St. Louis and Tampa Bay are maybe a step ahead of us right now. St. Louis, definitely. I mean, they've got so many weapons on offense, a good defense. You know, they're my pick to win the Super Bowl this year. And I'd like to see Tampa Bay and St. Louis play each other. I think that'd be a great game. I don't know if Tampa Bay's offense can score enough points, but they've definitely got a great defense. But I think we're you know, a step below those last 2 teams, but but I think we're heading in the right direction, and I'm looking forward to the coming years.
Well, without a good quarterback, you're not going to go anywhere in the playoffs. How would you assess the progression of Cade McNown here in the last few games?
I think Cade's made a lot of progression this year. I mean, he started out, young guy, didn't really know, what was going on, but he's always had confidence in what he can do, and he's getting the right checks, he's getting the right reads, and, today, obviously, a lot of times, their defense just covered the guys that we were trying to throw to, so you got to give them credit also. They've got an outstanding defense, and I think Cade's, learned from some of the mistakes he's made this year, and I think he's got a bright future also.
Have a great operation in the offseason with the new baby as well, and back to you guys.
Blake Brockemeyer, one of the great additions on this football team for 1999. Back with more in a minute as the post-game show rolls on.
High formation backfield. Lead back is McLeod. Hand off to Allstott. Hits right. He's going to be denied. He's not going to get in. It looked like he was going to take it in. Warwick Coleman with a picture-perfect tackle.
Bears Postgame is brought to you by Jeep. See your local Jeep dealer today.
Years of technological achievements have made us what we are today. Jeep is the most award-winning brand of 4x4s of this millennium. So we're celebrating the next millennium with the Jeep Year-End Awards event, featuring a low $279 a month lease on Cherokee Sport, with features like air and power locks at no extra charge. And be sure to check out the fun-loving Jeep Wrangler. So get to the Jeep Year-End Awards event and see where a little recognition can take you. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Row harder, swabbies. Siberia's still half an ocean away.
At the pace your drummer will never get there.
Oh, we'll sink. Oh, can't you row without me drumming?
You'd be keeping the beat if you drank a Red Bull.
Red Bull?
Yeah, the energy drink. It revitalizes body and mind. You're all pumped up.
Shows me brain. Forget Siberia. Let's do Bermuda.
What a genius.
Or even better, let's do Hawaii. It's sport for everybody.
Red Bull gives you wings. I need some suntan lotion.
Just one more strike.
Yeah!
Hey guys, I just rolled a perfect game! No!
Sure you did.
No, I just erased it!
Just like your wife's a supermodel.
She is?
Favorite. How you got your wireless phone for free?
I did.
Believe it or not, right now you can get a free ClearPath digital phone from Ameritech Cellular plus 100 minutes for just $25 a month.
Hello?
When are you coming home? Because I really miss you.
The Bucs are the only NFC Central team the Bears have been able to beat this season. The final score today was 20-6. And Tommy, before we go, just got a few seconds to go here. If you look at the last 2 weeks, we really had a pretty good sense of how far the Bears need to go to get to the top echelon, right?
They had, with the opportunity to play the Rams and the Bucs, to measure themselves against the two better teams in the NFC Central, or in the NFC overall. They've solved their problem at coaching. They've solved some of their management problems. Now they've got to get those difference makers, which the Bucs have and which the Rams have.
Very quickly, if you're in charge, and a lot of times you like to think you are,
I am.
What are the things that you would address? Top three in order.
Defensive end, they've got to come away with one of the top three free agents. That's Simeon Rice, Tony Brackens, or Robert Porcher. You got to get better in the secondary. Got to find a kicker who can get it through the uprights more times than not.
Yes, all those things and more. Right now, back out to Gary and Dan for a final thought. Fellas, jump on that one for me. Things they got to do in the offseason to step it up a notch. Danny?
I would say improve the secondary as well, Corey. I think that's another key area, and linebacking is going to be an issue. So overall on defense, I think that's one thing you have to look at, linebacking and in the secondary. Offensively, Gary?
Yeah, I think offensively, Dan, I think they're in very good shape. I think guards they have to address a little bit, but my priorities, like Tom, defensive end without question. Second would be a cornerback, and third, they need stability at kicker. They get that, they'll be in a lot better shape than this year.
All right, fellas. Good job, as always. Dan, you look great on Network TV in your
He's
jacket,
still wearing red, man. He's still wearing red.
Wasn't it good?
Good job, fellas, and a great year, as always.
All right, thanks. Hold on 1 second, Corey, real quick.
What do you got?
Huh? There you go.
Thanks, Dan. He's giving it to me, Corey. He's giving it to me.
Gary.
Thanks.
That's Gary's.
Yeah, you Harvard guys are great. You're great. I love you guys.
Little Ivy League love fest there, Tom. I feel a little left out, don't you?
I didn't want one.
You don't want one?
No,
you don't need it.
No.
You like to work for your jackets, don't you? Don't forget tonight, 9:40, the final word. Kate McNine will be here along with Tommy W.
Or Sean.
Or Sean. Somebody will be here tonight talking about the season and today's game, of course. We'll see you then. Thanks, everybody. The news is next.
Holmes his first NFL kick for a field goal, and he's good.
Well, the wind tried to get him.